I need you to ask yourself that. Like, oh, do you even know that you're not passing the test? Like, do you even know that, like, yo, I keep popping back up in the same situation, the same circumstance, because I didn't extract the lessons from the last loss. I didn't extract the lessons from what God's trying to teach me. So I keep coming back and back and back to the same situation, and I'm frustrated with everybody else except for me. I'm not passing the test. I'm not passing the level. I'm not getting to the next level. What's up? And welcome to the Unruly Podcast. I am your host, Rousawn Dozier, and I'm grateful, excited, appreciative to have you here. If you don't subscribe to the podcast, I'd love, hit the subscribe. Go ahead and do it now because I know you're going to do it eventually. But, hey, I appreciate you. Today, I just want to speak for a few minutes about tests and levels and tests. What are you saying right now? All right, I'll get into it real quick. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like in life, like you come up against the same struggles and same trials on a pretty regular basis, like a reoccurring basis? Like you're like, yo, this challenge that I'm having in my finances, or this challenge I'm having with handling conflict, like it's really not getting better. I feel like I can kind of get through it, and then it pops up next month, or it pops up next week, or this reoccurring issue in my health. I just feel like I'm not right spiritually, like over and over and over. And I'm telling you, it's because you're in the parking garage and you messing up. What? What are you talking about? I said, you're in a parking garage and you're messing up in the garage. I know you can't see my face if you're listening to this, but I know I have like a question mark on my face because I'm like, yo, Rousawn, what are you talking about? And I know you're probably like, yo, Rousawn, what are you saying right now? What I'm saying is that when you're in the parking garage, you got to know how to navigate the parking garage. Oh, my goodness, I'm still confused. All right, I'll break it down. I travel a good bit for what I do. I'm a keynote speaker. I travel the country working with organizations, giving keynotes, doing leadership trainings. And so I'm at the airport pretty regularly. And so because of that, this is a sidebar, I don't like getting rides to the airport. I feel like I have to inconvenience somebody to give me a ride to the airport and then time it perfectly for when I get back to pick me up. So I just take my own car and I park in the garage. And, at these airports, the garages are huge because there's a lot of people that feel like me. They want to drive themselves to the airport so that they can get back when they get back and leave when they want to leave. They ain't got to wait, right? And so I got to the airport. It was early one morning in D.C. I'm talking about it was like 4:45. And the garage was already packed, man. It was packed. And I drive up, and I'm circling. I've never had to circle the garage at all. There's always a parking spot on that first level. And this time, man, I'm still waking up. I'm driving, and I'm seeing each spot is packed, and then you see a spot, oh, there's a spot for me. And y'all know what it feels like when you pull up on that spot and somebody pulled their little mini car, their compact car all the way up and you thought that you had a spot and you didn't, bro. If that's you to do it, don't just leave your little car backed out a little bit so people can see it and they don't get excited, get their hopes up about a parking spot that God didn't intend for them that day. Anyways, man. And so I just found myself looping around the parking garage. And I'm trying to go up to the next level. But like I would drive around, and instead of going to the next level, I kept just making this loop around the garage. Like I promise, I've been to that parking garage a ton. I've never had to go past the first level. And I'm making the same level. And I'm getting frustrated because it's been like 7-8 minutes and I'm just making a loop around here. And I see one of the guys who I guess works at the garage is kind of looking at me crazy. And I'm looking at him crazy. Like, bro, what is going on right now? I'm stuck on this level. Like every time I come around, there's more disappointment because I'm right back to where I started. And I'm right back to the realization that there ain't enough parking spots on the first level and I'm mad, right? The reason I couldn't get to the next level of the garage is because I didn't pass the test of the first level. Don't miss what I'm saying. I wasn't passing the test of the first level to go to the next level. And some of y'all are having the same experiences over and over and over and over and over again because you're not passing the test. Once you pass the test, you get the keys to go to the next level. And I couldn't find where the access to the next level was, so I kept making loops. There was something I had to acknowledge in that situation. I was stuck on that same level. I had to first acknowledge, like, yo, I'm not even passing the test. I'm not able to see where the access to the next level is. That's why I'm not getting there. I need you to ask yourself that. Like, oh, do you even know that you're not passing the test? Like, do you even know that, like, yo, I keep popping back up in the same situation, the same circumstance, because I didn't extract the lessons from the last loss. I didn't extract the lessons from what God's trying to teach me. So I keep coming back and back and back to the same situation, and I'm frustrated with everybody else except for me. I'm not passing the test. I'm not passing the level. I'm not getting to the next level. So the first thing you have to acknowledge is like, yo, you're not passing the test. That's what I had to acknowledge. I was like, bro, you ain't passing the test. Like, there's somewhere along this little route that you're not even seeing where the access is to that second level. And if you don't know where the access is to the second level, even if you get to the second level, you'll never get to the third because you don't know how to. And you're frustrated because you're trying to skip levels without knowing how to get the tools and things you need from the level that you're on. You're trying to skip levels. You're looking at where other people are at. You're like, yo, I see where they're at in their finances. I'm trying to get there. But you're not even maximizing the finances that you have on the level that you're on. You want more beautiful, healthy, whole relationships, and you're looking at people like, yo, I want to be like them. Bro, they've been married for 30 years. They done been through the things that you've been through multiple times, and they extracted the lesson, and they applied it to the next level of their life, and that's why they keep going higher. And you can't go higher because you're not willing to acknowledge the fact that you're trying to skip levels. So when you realize, hey, I'm passing a test, I'm not skipping levels, that's just you eliminating the ego. Ego stands for edging God out. You're looking at the situation like, yo, I'm not doing anything wrong. No. Yeah, no. Stop trying to be right and get it right. Stop trying to be right and get it right. Like, that's an ego thing. When you feel like you have to be right, then you actually miss the fact that God's trying to show you ain't got all the answers, Sway. You ain't got the answers, Sway. As Kanye said to my man Sway, he said, you ain't got the answers. And God's looking at you like, you ain't got the answers. I'm trying to give you the answer. And you're letting your ego keep you on the same level when you look dumb in the parking garage. Come on. You look dumb in the same area of your life. You've been in the same spot for 7 years. You look dumb. You've been in the same spot 10 years. You've been dumb. You look in the same, because you're not extracting the lessons because you want to be right instead of getting it right. And when I said, okay, bro, I'm doing something wrong here, I had the humility to ask my man. I said, bro, I know I feel silly, but I don't know where the access is to the second level. And the dude smiled. He was like, I got you, man. He said, it's interesting. He said, it's tough to find. Instead of making a left, you actually make this left and then merge, make a slight right, and it takes you up around the corner the other side. I said, oh, my goodness. You see, this whole time I'm rolling around this parking garage on this level lost, there's somebody else that had the keys to take me to the next level. That's my second step. You got to be willing. You got to be willing to humble yourself and admit, I need help, and there's somebody that knows better than I do. One of the things that will leave you helpless in life is refusing to admit that you need help. You know, I've tricked off some finances really, really, really bad. I've made some dumb decisions that if I had just had the humility, if I could have just put aside the ego and said, I need help, I wouldn't have had to go through some really helpless things, right? I wouldn't have had to experience some of the things if I just said, I need help. And you're in this garage and you're spinning around, you're coming around and you're frustrated, you're stressed, you feel broken. All you got to do is say, I need help. Cry out to God, God, I need help. Get a mentor, get a coach. Get somebody, again, I said it in a previous podcast, that loves you enough to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And the dude had all the answers that I needed, but I didn't have the humility to say, bro, I'm just circling this thing, and I feel silly, and I know that there's hundreds of cars on the next level, that they found the level, and I couldn't find it. And in 30 seconds, I was able to get to a place that I was, at that point, 10 minutes trying to find, just driving in circles. Asking for help will accelerate your growth. Come on. What do I say about coaching and mentorship? It cuts your learning curve in half, and some of y'all are on the same level because you don't have the humility. You don't have the humility, now your journey can't be halved. Like you don't have the humility to say I need help. Now God can't even have your journey because he's going to use somebody else that's already experienced it to help you get to the next level even quicker, but you won't say I need help in my marriage. You don't have the humility to say, yeah, my wife and I have been beefing for months, and you don't have the humility to say I don't know how to manage my money properly. God's a God of stewardship. You just want him to give you more money, but God's not going to give you more water when your hole in your bucket's getting bigger. You don't have the humility to say, bro, I'm struggling. I don't even know how to diet properly. I don't know how to create the disciplines in my life. You're struggling with your kids because you don't know how to communicate with your teenagers. Instead of saying you need help, you hide it. And God can't heal what you hide. You got to say you need help. Then the third thing, man, I'm done. The third thing is that you have to repeat steps 1 and 2 on your next level. It's just really that simple. Because even when I got to the next level, guess what? It was full. But because I was willing to extract the lessons from the previous level, I didn't have to remain on that second level any longer than I had to because I knew what I needed to do to get to the other level. So step 3 is to repeat steps 1 and 2. Every level you get to in your life, you're just going to have to repeat steps 1 and 2. You're going to have to acknowledge, oh, man, this is a test. Oh, I don't have the answers. And be willing to have the humility to get the help you need so you can extract the lessons from this level and apply them to the next level. It's really that simple. So you don't need to be going around in circles in this parking garage of your life. There's levels that you can get to if you apply the steps that I just gave you. The smartest people don't learn from their mistakes. They actually learn from the mistakes of others. That's why you need a coach. That's why you need a mentor. That's why you need people in your life that tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So you don't need to be stuck on those levels anymore. Do it. Acknowledge that, hey, I'm going in circles. Hey, be humble enough to say, I need the help. And then when you get to the next level in your life, repeat steps 1 and 2. That's all I have for you today. This is Rousawn, your host. This is the Unruly Podcast. Until next time, stay unruly and go be great.